Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are back for part 2 of my declutter series. We're tackling my eyeshadow palettes today. These are always the hardest ones, as you guys know if you've been with me for a while. I have a hard time getting rid of my eyeshadow palettes. But I'm forcing myself to do it today, and I'm actually pretty impressed with the progress that I made, with how many things I actually got rid of. I think some family and friends are really gonna love getting some use out of these that I could not get enough use out of because I just have too much. So I'm excited to share it with you guys. Before we do that though, if you are a new visitor here, I wanna give you a special welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I hope that you enjoy this video today. Please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you're subscribed and that your notification bell is turned on. And with that said, let's get to it. Okay, so we're gonna start here at the top. I don't imagine there's gonna be a ton of declutters. Just a heads up here, I'm gonna get rid of anything that's been discontinued, anything that I know I dislike. Starting right here with the Nabla mini palettes. I love these little palettes. These are the 3 that I have left after a few other declutters. I'm definitely keeping the nude and the analog. I'm debating about the Metropolitan palette. It is so pretty. This bronze shimmer right here makes me want to keep this palette just for this alone. Oh gosh, but I don't really love the white in here. And I think I have other coral shades in my collection already. So I'm gonna get rid of this one. Oh, that one was hard. Over here are mostly Sydney Grace and ColourPop palettes. These right here are my Sydney Grace single eyeshadow palettes. I will probably never get rid of a Sydney Grace single eyeshadow. These are just some that I've sort of put together. I am definitely keeping those. So here are my 9-pan ColourPops. I'm keeping the That's Taupe. I'm keeping the Making Mauves. I'm keeping the Blush Crush. Already this is not going very well. Let me hold off on the Petals on Point. I really like that one. The Fresh Greens. You know what? I'm gonna get rid of this one. I have some other green palettes that I've been trying recently and some Sydney Grace greens that I really love, so I'm gonna get rid of the Fresh Greens. I don't wear greens all that often anymore. Same with the Deja Brew. This is a good little palette, but it's very similar to the That's Taupe, and I think that That's Taupe is better, so someone else will enjoy this one. And then I have the Peach Out, the Feeling Bubbly, the Nude Mood, and the Going Coconuts. I'm keeping the Going Coconuts. I already had that mistake. Keeping the Feeling Bubbly. I think I am gonna get rid of the Peach Out palette. It was a little bit too orangey for me, which is funny because I do love my warm toned eyeshadow palettes, but this is my kind of warm toned palette. This one is beautiful. Let's have a look at the Petals on Point. This is actually a really pretty palette, but you know what? Because I now have the 1111 palette, these aren't really similar to each other, but they both have kind of a cool tone vibe, and I know I have these shades in other ColourPop palettes. I'm kind of thinking of the Stone Cold Fox palette, has some of these shades in it, and I have other pinks that I like a little better. So good little palette, but I don't need it. The other ones I have up here are my NYX Ultimate Warm Neutrals. I'll keep this one. I think these are really good. Well, I haven't tried the other ones. This is a really good palette. I think they're a little overpriced, $20 at the drugstore, even though they're good. The shimmers are kind of like plain. They're not like super sparkly and shiny, which is how I like my shimmers to be. Okay, here's some Sydney Grace. I am definitely keeping the Southern Spring. This was in my most recent fall palette video. This palette is so pretty, guys. This is gonna be hard. This is the Coffee Talk, another great nude palette. And then the California Coast. This is beautiful, but I know I have so many single pinks and browns and roses from Sydney Grace that I don't think I need this one. So I'm gonna get rid of the California Coast. Oh. All right, there we have the first row, looking better already. Let's move down. Okay, second row, we have, let's go start with these smaller ones over here. I've got my Persona palette in the old packaging. I've been meaning to, look how dirty this thing is. I don't know if you're picking that up on camera. It is disgustingly dirty. I really don't want to spend the money on getting the new packaging for this right now. And I do love this palette. I don't use it as much as I used to because I have so much, but it's great. Also, this one from NARS is the Summer Unrated palette, which is so good. NARS eyeshadows are really good. I kind of am reluctant to admit that, but I don't buy them often because they're so expensive, but I do really love this palette. I'm gonna keep this one for now. These right here are the Flower Beauty Desert Lights and Coastal Lights. Kind of thinking I'm gonna get rid of these. They're beautiful shimmers, but now that I have Sydney Grace, I don't feel like I need shimmers this intense anymore because I just don't reach for them. I reach for my Sydney Grace shimmers when I'm wanting a shimmer on my eyes or a one eyeshadow look. Also gonna keep my Tartelette in Bloom. It's still a classic. I don't use this one nearly enough for how beloved this palette is, but it is a good old school classic, and it's one of the last remaining early YouTube palettes that I have yet to declutter, so I'm going to keep that one. Over here, I am going to declutter my Dreamy Dozen, although this is one I use quite a bit, but I don't like using it on camera anymore because it's discontinued. So people get annoyed when I use it. So I'm gonna let someone else enjoy this because I have plenty. I don't need it. I am most definitely keeping my Enduring Love palette from Sydney Grace, one of her best palettes. It's fantastic. I think the packaging now is different. I don't think it's this tin magnet packaging, it's the cardboard packaging. Highly recommend this palette if you like these kind of colors. You get a few jewel tones, then most of this over here are kind of neutrals and pinks. It's lovely. I'm keeping my Glam palette from Natasha Denona. Love this thing. I'm gonna get rid of my pastel palette from Natasha Denona. As cute as this palette is, I, especially now, just do not reach for colors like this anymore. Something happened to me. Like I turned 42 and my desire to be creative with my eyeshadows just died. Keeping my Yucca palette, beautiful palette. The Bloom palette. This is a beautiful palette, but it makes my eyes water so badly. There are some beautiful shimmers in here. For now, I'm gonna keep this one. I do intend to declutter this, but I'm gonna keep it around for a video I have planned for the end of the year. But just a heads up, it's one I otherwise would declutter. The I Need a Nude palette. One of the best palettes of all time, keeping that. I'm keeping the Retro palette. This is a beautiful berry toned palette. I don't know if you can buy this one anymore, but if you happen to pick this up when she had it around, it's lovely. I think the Alter Ego does a dupe for this one. The Bronze palette. This is another old one I don't believe you can buy anymore. I would declutter this one, but there are some bronzes in here that are just so incredibly beautiful. I thought I would declutter this one because I have the I Need a Warm and the Golden palette, but there are some bronzes in here, and this shade right here in particular, it's like a creamy charcoal brown. It's a cream formula. It is gorgeous in the outer corner, and this red brown right here and some of the shimmery bronzes. I'm gonna keep this one as kind of a companion palette to the I Need a Warm. The Zendo palette, this is such a fun one. I think I'm gonna get rid of this one because I'm keeping the Bronze palette. These teals and greens over here, they're kind of fun, but I just don't use those kind of colors much anymore. So I'm gonna pass this one along. Someone else will really enjoy this. The Retro Glam palette, this one is fun. If I am ever gonna go for greens, this is the palette that I'll reach for. There's some really fun shades in here. I think at one point this was my #1 or #2 Natasha Denona palette. I don't know that that's true anymore because I've just gone so neutral. Still a really good one. I'm keeping it. The I Need a Warm. Another one of my absolute favorites. Beautiful if you like your warmer tones. This thing is so stunning. Also gonna keep the My Dream palette. Another lovely, lovely palette. Has a little bit more colorful berry tones in it. Again, I think Alter Ego does dupes for a lot of these palettes, so I will link over to Alter Ego's website. The Golden palette right here, beautiful. I probably don't need this one if I'm keeping the I Need a Warm, but I do still really like some of the shimmers inside here. And this cream shade right here that's kind of a creamy formula. It's a matte, it's beautiful. And then I've got my Sunrise palette. This is one of my summertime favorite palettes. I'm gonna keep this one as well. I know that probably didn't seem like a lot to you guys, but I'm actually pretty proud of that. I didn't expect to get rid of many, if any, Natasha Denona palettes. So on this shelf, I've got some face palettes and highlighter palettes that we'll also be tackling. Then over here, I have my eyeshadows. I'm gonna start off by just pulling these out of the way. These are just some more Sydney Grace singles, you guys. I clearly have a major problem. Maybe one day I'll go through all of my Sydney Grace singles, get rid of the ones that I don't think I'll be using very much. There are probably some colors I doubt that I'll be using much. And that just leaves us with a few over here. So I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm officially going to declutter my Makeup by Mario Neutrals palette, which is great if you like very basic matte shades. I just don't need it. It's not a palette that I enjoy reaching for very much, and because it was pricey, I just think someone else will be able to get more enjoyment out of that than I do. Okay, this was actually supposed to be up here. I don't know why it's down here. This is my Hyper Natural face palette from Natasha Denona. I had some criticisms with this, but there is a lot that I like about it. I do like the face powders. I like the eyeshadows a lot, even though I feel like there's a couple things missing from it, but I'm gonna keep it for now. It is a good one to travel with. I have to throw a highlighter in with me, but I can get a full eye look and my bronzer and my blush out of this palette. Got my Always Naked palette from Wet n Wild. Great palette. I really don't like this pressed glitter. If it wasn't for this pressed glitter, I'd probably rave about this one a lot more, but the mattes are great, the shimmers are good. I think I'll hang on to this one. I actually like the Color Icon palettes, these ones. I'll show you when we get to my small palettes. These ones a lot more than I like this one. But those are getting harder and harder to find, so I'll keep this one for now. Keeping my Nomad palette. We just got done talking about this. Great fall palette. The Deuce palette from Juvia's Place. This is such a fun palette that they don't make anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass it along. I kind of hate to do that. I have loved this palette for so long. It's made it through so many declutters. Some of you are probably screaming at your phone or your TV right now, but I don't want to keep things that have been discontinued unless I use them a lot. And I just have too much. That's really the biggest problem. Okay, last three Juvia's Place palettes. This is another one. This red brown right here. Well, sorry, I'm holding these a little too low. This reddish brown and this brown right here. Honestly, this palette is just stunning. Okay, I didn't realize this is the Hangin' in Hawaii palette. I'm gonna declutter this because this was supposed to be on the shelf down below. BH Cosmetics is not really around anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass this along, which is unfortunate because I love the BH Cosmetics eyeshadow formula. Okay, should I keep the Nubian too? This palette just brings me such good memories, but I actually like the mattes in the Saharan too a little bit better, but I don't think this palette's, I think this palette's been discontinued though. So it looks like both of these are no longer available at Ulta, so I'm going to get rid of the Nubian 2 and keep the Saharan 2. I do still enjoy using this one. By the way, I did just realize my coffee shop palette from Juvia's Place is on the wrong shelf. It was on the shelf down below. I am definitely keeping this one as well, so that leaves me with just 3 Juvia's Place palettes left. Wow, I used to own like 10 of these. Okay, that shelf looks much better. Let's move down again. Okay, we're gonna jump right in. I've got my longer palettes here, some other larger palettes here, a lot of Sydney Grace and Alter Ego on here. Let's start over on this side. I'm definitely keeping my Pat McGrath Midnight Sun palette. This thing is lovely. It was a fortune. I am keeping my Pumpkin Spice palette from Too Faced. This one I've been reaching for a lot this last week since I filmed that fall palette video. You guys, these dark shades right here, like this orange and these 2 shades, gorgeous in the crease. I forgot how much I liked Too Faced or the Too Faced matte formula, especially for their darker shades. It's lovely. I'm not as wild about the shimmers. They're a little more colorful than I like. The formulas are nice. I just don't like the colors of the shimmers as much, but this is a fun palette for fall. I keep my Sigma palette because it's the only Sigma palette that I have. Their mattes are great. I don't love their shimmers. They're very dry. For some reason, I just don't love the shimmer formula that much, but it's a good palette. These, I think I'm gonna get rid of these. These are Sydney Grace. These were done in collaboration with Temptalia years ago. They're gorgeous palettes. As you can see, they're quite colorful. This one I will definitely be getting rid of. I just don't use shades this colorful anymore. This is the Quintessence palette. I'm gonna get rid of that. And then this is the On the Horizon palette. There's some great shimmers in here. This shade Heart Dog and this Magellan's Light are stunning. Sometimes I'll reach for this palette just for those 2 shimmers, but I have so many great Sydney Grace shadows that are similar to this. I think I could probably get rid of this one too. This was a palette I picked up at Ulta Beauty. This is the Laura Geller Fresh Florals palette. I think it's just called the Fresh Florals palette. This looks kind of boring and bland, but I actually loved the looks that this came up with. If you happen to see these Laura Geller palettes floating around your Marshalls or TJ Maxx this fall, like at Christmas time, the formulas are really nice. I definitely like this one. I'm actually gonna keep it for now, even though I doubt that I'll use it a ton. I have so much I don't really need it, but I do enjoy it, so I'm gonna keep it for now. I'm also keeping my Anastasia Beverly Hills Nouveau palette. Great one. Keep my Rose Metals palette as well. Another great one that's in my current fall stash. This one from Patrick Ta I am keeping. Another great one. This one is the Hello Berlin palette from Essence. I thought this was really good, but I never use it. I don't know, Essence palettes are kind of hit and miss. The small 9-pan palettes, that all of which I will be keeping. They're in my little small palette drawer, these. I just don't need it, so I'm gonna pass this one along. The quality's not great. You kind of would expect that with the Essence palettes, but I feel like especially with the larger palettes, the quality is not as good as I have found with some of these smaller ones. This is the Profusion Smoky palette. I'm gonna keep this one. One of the better bang for your bucks at the drugstore, and I say that about most of Profusion's makeup. I actually think they make some really good quality stuff. Their packaging's not great. Right here I have all of my Alter Ego palettes. The Amber Glow, this one is a dupe for the Golden palette. Yes, this is the dupe for the Golden palette. Obviously I have the Golden palette, so I don't feel like I really need this one. Even though I think that packaging is just so gorgeous. Look at those, what are those called? Pampas grass or something? It's so pretty. I'm telling you guys, don't sleep on this thing. It's a great little palette if you don't want to spend $69 on the original. I'm gonna pass this along though, I just don't need it. The Sundown palette, this is a dupe for the My Dream palette, another great one. Great dupe for that palette, but again, I have the original, so I don't need this one. This is the Sunlit Dreams. This is a dupe for the I Need a Warm, which is stunning. I'm gonna keep this one for now. I just like having one on hand, and look at this fall packaging. It actually is in my current fall Shop My Stash because the packaging is so nice. Same with the Daylight palette. This is in my current Shop My Stash, so I'm gonna keep it for now, but this probably will get decluttered in the future. This is a dupe for the I Need a Nude, which is fantastic. Great palette if you like your neutrals. This palette is the Coastal palette. This is a dupe for one of the Huda Beauty palettes. I don't remember which one. I don't use it a lot often, but there's a lot of duochrome in here. I'm gonna pass this one along. I just don't see myself using that a ton. The Mist Haven, another Huda Beauty dupe, supposedly. I haven't tried the original, but this one I do really like. So I'm gonna keep this one for when I'm in the mood for something very cool. Lots of cool tones in here. I love these shimmers right here. They're so pretty. Huda Beauty Icy Nude palette. Here's a big shocker, guys. I'm gonna declutter this. This palette is just too much for me. Like, it's very pretty. It's great quality. The Huda Beauty mattes are insane, and some of her shimmers are so interesting and unique, but they're too fancy. The looks from this palette are just very dramatic, like way too dramatic for my liking. Even some of these lighter shimmers are so pigmented that I almost can't scale them down enough to make them look like me. So it's just not a palette for me, even though I think the quality is great. I get why so many people love this one, but I'm going to pass mine along. Maybe someone else will enjoy it more than I have. BH Cosmetics Blueberry Muffin palette. Sadly, I'm going to part ways with this one. Obviously there's some blues in here that I never use. The shimmers, the lid shimmers in here are stunning, but again, they're not around anymore. So I am gonna keep my Side by Side by Nabla. Such a good one. They have a new one. They have a smaller, I think it's like a mini Side by Side that I've been meaning to pick up. So maybe I'll give that one a try. But for now, I'm gonna keep this. Okay, this is where, guys, I don't think I'm gonna get rid of any of these. I got these are all Sydney Grace. This is the Unveiled. So, so good. Honestly, there's nothing bad I can say about this palette. It's just such a perfectly curated palette, and I love the way she put this together. So in case you're new, let me just walk you through this. So this was created by a bridal makeup artist. She designed this palette based on the 3 looks that she gets requested the most, kind of a soft pink look, a bronze smoky eye, and then just like a cooler toned smoky eye. And they're all lovely. Of course, you can mix and match, but honestly, just those 3 different looks create the most perfect, beautiful, glamorous looks. Not just for a wedding. Of course, you could wear them anytime. I love this thing. I did use that on my daughter-in-law for her wedding, by the way. I also love the Love's Journey. This one's a little more neutral in tone. A lot of like grays and light, warm browns in here. Stunning palette. Cozy Cafe, which is in my current fall Shop My Stash. It kind of reminds me of the Love's Journey, just a little bit different, or maybe of those previous 2 kind of mixed together. If they had a baby, it would be this palette right here, which I am also keeping. This is the Unbreakable Bond. Oh gosh, this one's also so pretty. I feel like I don't need this one, but I'm also not ready to let it go yet. Sorry guys. I'm gonna hold on to this one. Next time, got my Stone Cold Fox, another fall palette recommendation. Definitely keeping this. These are from Pat McGrath. These are her holiday fall release, or holiday Christmas fall releases from like 4 or 5 years ago. Love them both. I don't think I want to get rid of either of these. Actually, this one, the pink one, which came out second, can't remember what year that was, has a lot of shades I don't use. So part of me thinks I could declutter this one, but there are some lid shimmers in here that are so special and unique that I just feel like I need to keep it. And the golds for Christmas time with this red in the crease, such a pretty holiday look. So I'm keeping those too. My gosh, this is not going well. It's the ABH Norvina palette. This palette, it's been around forever. I picked this up at a TJ Maxx at like 3 years later, discounted, and it's great, but there's so much in here I don't use and a lot of glitter. I'm gonna get rid of it. I feel like that last one was a makeup call for how poorly I did with all my Sydney Graces. There it is updated, much better. Now let's move down to my mini palettes. All right, last shelf here at the bottom. These are my mini palettes, and then just some like singles, and my Kaja trios are in here as well. I had to show you this. This was a picture drawn by my daughter. I think that she drew this last year. Kids are the best, aren't they? I feel like I'm aging very well, although my hair is thinning just a bit, but otherwise, good job, Charlie. Okay, let's go through these first. First, these right here are the LA Girl On Cloud 9 Bouncy Eyeshadows. I'm gonna declutter these. I didn't like the creamy formula on these. I did like the shimmers, but I have other shimmers from Natasha Denona from Alter Ego that I think are similar to these, so I'm gonna pass these along. The Milani Gilded Mini in Whiskey Business. This is actually a really good little palette. It's not a fun palette. Like, this is kind of boring in the way that the Makeup by Mario palette was kind of boring, although I paid a lot more for that one, so I had a little bit more resentment over buying that. This I'm gonna keep around just in case I do any drugstore videos, because I do think it's pretty and it's good. The mattes are really good formulas. I'm gonna pass along this Viseart mini palette. I thought I'd keep it around to use for traveling, but honestly, I just don't even know that I love this color story. This is the San Francisco Etoile palette. Quality is good. I do like the Viseart quality. I think it's way overpriced, but Natasha Denona is also overpriced, so who am I to say? This is from Pink Flash. This is a K-Beauty brand that I can't find anymore. I meant to go back and pick up some of the other shades of these trios because they're so incredibly good. I need to find some more K-Beauty makeup that's more affordable. Let me just tell you guys this. So I was in Ulta the other day. Sorry, quick little sidebar here. And I noticed Ulta has some K-Beauty brands that they sell in store right now. Some of which, including the brand Unleasha, which I've tried a lot from, and I like that brand, but they're way high priced in Ulta. Whereas I don't remember them being that expensive when I bought them from like Yes Style or from Stylevana. So if you buy them from overseas, it's a little risky. It takes a long time to get here, but you're gonna save a ton of money rather than picking them up in your local Ulta store. Anyways, I'm gonna keep this because I actually do use this a lot, even though it's been discontinued. On my own, like in my personal life, I do use this palette quite a bit. I'm gonna get rid of this Revolution mini palette, the ICU Orange. It was okay, it's pretty good. It's just not a color story I reach for a ton. I have other things, I just don't need it. I'm gonna pass that along. I'm gonna keep the e.l.f. Cream and Sugar palette. It is a good one from the drugstore if you're looking for a very basic look. I don't use it a lot because I have so much, but if I ever do a like under $5 video, I'll keep it around even though it's not one I like love using. I've got a problem. These are all my Natasha Denona minis, and I don't know that I'm getting rid of any of them. So the mini retro, I think they do not make anymore, unfortunately. It's so gorgeous. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Mini Biba. It's in my current Shop My Stash. The mini Sculpt is great. The mini Nude is great. The mini Love. This one I'm gonna pass along. I don't need this. I don't use these kind of like purpley, berry, rosy tones all that often. I do really love the mini Zendo. I love the silver in here. I really like the mini Starlit. This shimmer is so beautiful. I think this is also in the mini Zendo. Or no, the mini Retro, I believe. And then the mini Glam. I don't love this one, but I'm gonna keep it because I feel like I'm gravitating more towards neutrals these days, so maybe I'll learn to love it. But it might be at risk of being chopped next time. And then this is the mini My Dream, which is also great. Okay, this is the Persona Copper Theory palette, which is so good, but so old, I don't even think she makes it anymore. Do you guys remember these little packets that she used to do? This is a great little palette. Someone else will really enjoy this. Persona eyeshadow quality is out of this world. It's so good. This is the e.l.f. Perfect 10 eyeshadow palette. I thought a lot of these shades were kind of weak and chalky. I didn't love this. I feel like it had decent reviews. I'm not gonna keep it. Okay, and that brings me to my Wet n Wild palette. So I've noticed they've kind of redone some of these, which makes me feel like I should probably replace them. I don't know that I'm quite ready to do that. I am gonna get rid of this one. This is the Camel Flaunt, which has the glitter in the center. The other shades I love in this one, but I just don't need to keep it, and I don't think you can buy it anymore. This is the Walking on Eggshells, the newer version, which again, I think there's also a newer version. If you remember the very, very old school one that had the 3 horizontal shades, that one was classic. I'm gonna keep this. I'm also gonna keep the Sundays palette. Then I'm gonna get rid of the Petalette. I don't need that one either. For these, I'm going to keep the Nude Awakening. I'm gonna get rid of the Lights Off palette. I'm also gonna get rid of the Heart and Soul Berry Tone palette. By the way, this is the Call Me Sunshine. Lots of bronzes and yellows in here. All right, I've got some Huda Beauty here. This is her matte palette. I got rid of the orange one. I'm gonna keep this one for now. Actually, I'm gonna pull this one out into my current Shop My Stash for fall and winter. Try and get some more use out of it. I'll be honest, I don't use it very much, but maybe if I put it on my desk, I'll use it more. I love the Huda Beauty packaging. This is the Nude Light. These I think have been discontinued. These are some of the best package designs ever. Like whoever did this should get an award. Beautiful little palette. I still enjoy using this in the spring. I'm gonna keep this one. I'm always tempted to maybe declutter my khaki haze, which they don't make anymore either, but just look at that writing. The word haze is hazy. Again, award should go to this person. The eyeshadows themselves, the mattes are fantastic. Some of the shimmers are good. This lightest shimmer though is not the best, but I'm still gonna keep it because the packaging is just so beautiful. Look at that marble. I know, I'm a little ridiculous. I'm gonna keep both of the Pretty Smart palettes. These are, I feel like, totally underrated. They're so good. Some of the best at the drugstore currently. This is my favorite. The 103 is by far the best in my opinion, unless you really like your kind of purpley cool tones, but they're great. Quality-wise, these are incredible. I think they're around $8 or $9. I'm gonna keep all of my Essence palettes. I've already gotten rid of the ones I don't use anymore, and I do use all of these. The Bronze This Way, Curl Me Maybe, Nothing Compares to New, Dancing Green, and my Rose Will Go On. All the writing's rubbing off of mine, but I love these little things. Okay, we're getting close, guys. This is the Pat McGrath. These are so cute. I'm gonna keep this one. I do like this one. The Midnight Voyage. And then I've got some ColourPop quads here. Actually, no, these were from Relove by Revolution. Unfortunately, you can't get your hands on them anymore, so I'm gonna get rid of these. And these two are the ColourPop ones. This is the Citrus Fizz and Sorbet. Both are great. I'm gonna keep both of these. Wow, look at that, that's progress. Okay, let's move over here. I've got my singles in here, my Kaja trios. I love all of these. I'm not getting rid of any of these right now. Some of these I don't think they make anymore, but I haven't found one yet that I did not like, and I like all of them. I bought a few of these. They sent me probably about half of these. They're way overpriced in my opinion, but they're so good. These are my Sydney Grace cream shadows. I have the shades Boardwalk, Starstruck, and Stolen Kiss. They're all beautiful. Actually, I've got one more in here too. This one is Candlelight, which is kind of like a golden champagne. These are so good. If you have issues with glitter moving around anytime you use a glittery shadow, give these a try. Normally I don't like cream shadows because they don't set down well enough for my eyelids for some reason. Like they stay kind of tacky and crease on me. These do not. These will completely set and dry down and not move. Oh, I forgot about this. This is the NYX Ultimate Glow Shots. This is such a pretty shade. This is the shade Golden Goji. It's beautiful, but it creases on me a little bit. It doesn't quite set down all the way, so I'm gonna pass that along. Same thing with the Persona ones. The Eye Paint is such a pretty golden copper, but it does not set all the way down on me. This is Water Dream from Nabla. It's a Nabla single. It's gorgeous. I never use it, but maybe I should put it in with my Sydney Gray singles and try and use it more often. Got some bonus shades here from Natasha Denona. This is the shade, oh, this is the shade Muse. Such a great shade. It's like a glittery shade. I think this is the shade that is in 2 of her mini palettes, and it's fantastic. And then this brown right here. No, it doesn't have a name. I don't know what that is. I know it's from Natasha Denona. I've got these Sephora singles. I did a video on like brightening your inner corner with some of these singles. I'm gonna get rid of this white one. It was just too icy. It works, but I'm just kind of over that super icy inner corner look. This one is a matte. This is the shade Lazy Afternoon. This is like a pink, shell pink, No Place Like Home. Honestly, these are good. I recommend them, but if I'm ever gonna reach for a single shadow, I'll just grab a Sydney Gray shadow and not one of these. So I'm gonna pass them along. We have got my ColourPop singles. I'm gonna keep Lady Bird, which you guys know, well, maybe you don't. If you're new here, there was a good year or 2 that I raved about this thing like crazy. I still love it. It's great. I just don't reach for it all that often because I forget about it. But these two, Amaze and Sailor, they're pretty. They're not nearly as good. I have tried probably 12 of these now, and I don't dislike them, but nothing compares to Lady Bird. It's the best one, in my opinion. It's super sparkly and shimmery. A little on the icy side, but it's somewhat sheer. It's very pretty. These ones I just don't think are quite as good, and I just don't reach for them very often. So that's gonna do it for those. Okay, I think that's it. I just realized I didn't tackle the face palettes that I had on that eyeshadow palette shelf, so there's not many of them. We're gonna tackle them now. There are a few that I know I can declutter. Let's start with the ones that I'm gonna be keeping. I'm definitely keeping my Benefit Cheek Stars palette. This was such a good release. I picked mine up at a Marshall's a year or 2 after it was released, and it's been around for a while. It's amazing, totally worth even the full price. I don't know why they have a couple of these that they'll release now and again. Sometimes they're smaller than this, but it has the cookie highlighter. It's got the Sugar Bomb, Dallas and Georgia blushes, and the Hoola bronzer. This thing is So, so good. I'm also gonna keep my Tarte Glow Bar, which I love the bronzer in here. The highlighters are a little bit on the weak side, but if I'm in the mood for something more natural, and maybe as I get older, my taste will start to change. They haven't yet, but they probably should now that I have a lot of texture and wrinkles on my skin. Still love a beaming highlighter. I am going to pass along the Belgian Waffle palette from BH Cosmetics, partly because it's not around anymore. You might be able to find this floating around on the internet somewhere. I love the bronzers in here. I loved a couple of the highlighters. The powder and this highlighter were a little bit too dark for me. I just don't need it, and you can't get your hands on this very easily anymore. I'm also gonna declutter this from BH Cosmetics, the Tahiti little quad. This was great for travel. I really like the powders in here. I didn't like the pan sizes. They were a little bit too small for a face brush to comfortably fit in. I do like using larger bronzer brushes typically, and you can't get your hands on this anymore, so I'm gonna pass that along. Also, the Spotlight palette. This one kind of pains me to get rid of. I have loved this thing for many, many years. Also from BH Cosmetics. One of their better releases in my opinion. If you happen to still own this and you don't have a ton of makeup products, don't get rid of it because it's great. If you like an intense highlighter, this thing has 6 beautiful, intense highlighters that are just so wonderful and fun, but I just don't need it. So I'll let someone else enjoy that. I'm gonna keep the Sydney Grace Luminous Light palette, one of my all-time favorites. I highly recommend these. This is the light version. The highlighter is great, the 2 blushes are great, the bronzer is great. I think they have a light, medium, deep, either 3 or 4 different varieties depending on your skin tone. I'm also gonna get rid of the Lottie London highlighter quad. I don't think this is available anymore. I think I got mine on clearance years ago. It's good, I just don't need it. So I'm gonna let someone else enjoy that. And then I am going to keep my Flower Beauty highlighting palette. Not that I need it, but these highlighters are so good. If you guys happen to own the Flower Beauty highlighter, they're great. So I don't use it a ton, but I'm gonna keep it for now. All right, and that's it. That's all I am keeping. That's kind of amazing. I'm gonna go and throw these back on my shelf. So here is the final declutter of all of the eyeshadow palettes I got rid of. I wanted to show you guys. There are some good ones here. I'm actually really excited for my friends and family to come pick through these because I definitely have some great palettes here that if I didn't have so much, I would love using. As for numbers, I didn't really do a final count on all of my palettes that I kept, but for how many I got rid of, I think I counted 35 palettes that were decluttered and then just a handful of these little singles laying around. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. Some of you might not be as satisfied that like the cutthroat declutters, but I'm a bit of a hoarder, so this is a challenge for me. All right, thank you again, guys. I hope you enjoyed this whole declutter series. I'm looking forward to having some space in my collection, maybe trying out a couple things this fall for the holiday season. Thanks for joining me. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.